Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome to the Missio Discipleship Podcast. Today I'm going to share with you how to manage your time when you're doing Bible study. Okay, so we've just spent 7 sessions on what does Bible study look like in the process of Bible study. We talked about going from the 30,000 foot view to start and working our way down to the nitty-gritty details, the ground level. And to be honest, we could keep going and we could take this a little bit deeper, but there's no need to. Once you got the fundamentals down and the process in place, it starts to work itself out. The rest is practice. You got to think about it like riding a bike, right? So when you're riding a bike, there's certain things that you don't know just through learning, right? You have to learn balance. In the fitness world, we'd call it proprioception. Knowing where you are in space, you learn that stuff experientially. Now, the thing is I could throw a textbook at your head, and I would just know that if you don't practice, if you don't actually apply any of this, if it's not becoming actionable, then it doesn't matter. You could read books after books after book, and it's not going to do anything for you. You could listen to speaker after speaker, and it's not going to do anything for you until you get into the text. So that's what I need you to do. And if you're wanting to take it to the next level, then we've got resources available. We've got a couple at the moment. One is called the Dig Method. One is called the Taking Root Method. The Dig Method is a very basic principle of Bible study. The Taking Root Method is a specially designed skill to help you develop. It's a communication tool and a Bible study tool, all in the same resource. And if you want that, you can go to missiodiscipleship.com. I'll share the link to that at a later stage. But here's the thing. Unless you actually apply this stuff, you're not going to learn it experientially, and that's where really it is. And you got to think about, like I'm married now. I've been married for nearly 5 years, which to some of you is not that long. But the thing is that I could read about my wife on paper, or I could know her in person, right? I experientially know her. I don't, and I could tell you about her on paper, but the thing is that because I know her in person and I know her character and her nature, I know her. And the thing is if you want to know God, you need to be in His Word, and you can't hear it from secondary information, guys. And it's why we want to make and multiply disciples, because hearing biblical information in a secondary format all the time, and that being the soul nourishment for you, it's not really nourishment at all. It's spoon feeding, and that's not what we want. Anyway, I could go on for days, but here's the thing. Today we're talking about how to manage your time in Bible study. The first thing that I want to tell you is you don't have to get it all done in the first session. All right? So I'm not expecting anybody to have a 15-30 minute Bible study and get right through historical context, observing the text, interpreting the text, and applying the text. Now, someone might be able to do that if they've got a lot of experience, right? But to someone who's going to a new book, I'm not expecting that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I'm going to be generous and say that it takes somebody 20 minutes to study the Bible, right? We want that 20-minute time block to be super efficient and for it to be super clear, so that you're walking out with clarity about what God is telling you in that text. Okay, but here's the thing: you don't have to get everything done at the same in the same session. So let's work on 20-minute blocks. The first block, this is what I'll do. Let's work Monday to Friday. You have the weekends off. Okay, the weekends off to actively think about and process what you've actually done throughout the week, which is fine. It's biblical meditation. That's a Christian practice. Okay. Thy law have I hid in thy heart that I might not sin against you. Thee. I should keep it KJV the whole way if I'm going to go KJV. But anyway, so this is what I'll do. If it's a new book and I know nothing about it, here's what I do. I open up the Bible, all right? I choose the book. So let's say it's a book that I don't know much about. Let's say it's Malachi, all right? So I go to Malachi. I don't know Malachi that well, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through Malachi. It's not a long book, all right? So it's a couple of chapters. So I'll read through Malachi, and I'll get in a little bit of a gist through, and that might take me 10 minutes. So I'll read through again, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to start actively listening and writing and really just pondering on some of the things as I go through. I'm not going to observe, I'm not going to interpret, I'm not going to do anything that's going to be considered as the study. I'm just going to read, and I'm just going to write and document. I'm not coming to any conclusions. I'm just kind of seeing how it all kind of fits, and that I'm tracking with the author as he's going through. That's all I'm going to do. That's day number 1. Day number 2, all right, is I'm going to come in, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to prep a historical resource, something that's going to give me a little bit of context about the history. Okay, so I might go to gotquestions.org, and I might read out something there. I might grab a study Bible, and for me, I have a number of different study Bibles, so I might grab a couple of those, and I might just read through the content there and see if anything stands out. But here's what I would do in that lesson. I'd figure out the historical context, and then I would write out some of the lessons that I can learn from history. Cool? That's day number 2. Day number 3 is I would read through the book again, and then what I'll be looking for this time is the theme. Okay, so I'll be looking for the theme and how everything kind of connects to this one theme. Remember, I'm asking the questions. What is the author's primary intention? What is he trying to communicate? And what would the hearers be learning or being told to do? If I could boil it down to one sentence, what would the hearers be thinking, learning, or hearing for the first time? And what would the author want them to take away from this? I can boil it down to a theme, and then I'll just see how things connect up. That's session number 3. Session number 4 is I will go, okay, I'm going to study this passage. All right, and I'll start at chapter 1, and let's say I'll work from, and I'm just taking a guess because, again, I'm in the car. So I'll take a guess from verses 1 through to verse 5. Okay, so I'll take a subsection, and I'll look at that subsection, and I'll start to observe the words, the noun phrases, the verb phrases. I'll kind of get the overarching theme of that text. And I'll start drawing it down. I'll start writing it down. Now, no, remember, I'm not doing any interpretation. I'm not doing any application at this stage. Simply, all I'm doing is observing the text. Right. So I'm observing the text, and that's all I'm doing. I'm writing down questions. Okay. And then what I'm going to do to finish that session is I'm going to open up eSword or go to a concordance or a lexicon or something like that, and have all of my resources planned for the day following. Because on that day, what I'm going to do is I'm going to interpret, and whenever I interpret, I'm immediately going to apply. Okay, so I think we're on day number 5 now, so I've got my resources ready for day 5. I've opened up Got Questions, Bible.org. I've kind of got to the points that I want to. I've got my lexicon available. I've already highlighted and started asking questions of the text and of the words, and put question marks where I need to, put highlights where I need to. Then what I'm going to do is the very first thing that I'm going to jump into is I am going to go to my resources, and I'm going to do my study there. Now, each time I land on something big, and really all I want is like a huge takeaway. Okay, so I'm not going to try and interpret everything. I'm going to pick the main theme. I'm going to try and get the thing that is kind of most prominent in that text, and I'm just going to narrow it down to 1 or 2 things that I'm just going to take away from that block. Okay, so I'm going to interpret. I'm going to apply. Now, what I might be interpreting and really defining, I might be defining words. I might be defining noun phrases, verb phrases. I might be looking at the principal plot points. So what is the large plot and what is the takeaway? What's the narrative driving home to? I might just take that big plot point and go, that author's trying to drive home this point, and that's the point that I need to take away. However I go there, so I'd be working through my commentaries if I needed to. I often stay away from commentaries. I don't think that I need them. I only really use them to confirm some of the findings that I've got, especially if they're a little bit kind of left field-ish. Anyway, so I'll go there and I'll be asking those interpretive questions: who, what, why, how, when. I'll be defining all of the unclear, and I'm only just looking at 1 or 2 things really that I need to get to understand that big idea. Once I've got that big idea, I work through my up in and out just for that one idea. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, is he talking about me needing to change in my mindset? Is he talking about me needing to change in my action? Is he talking about me when I say me, really, I'm actually saying is the writer talking to the audience? Is the writer talking to the audience? And if I was in the audience's shoes, would he be telling me that I need to change my mind, change my heart, or change the way that I relate to others, right? Is he telling me that I need to fix the way that I'm relating to God, that I'm relating to my own identity, or relating to the mission? How is he speaking? What kind of voice is he speaking into? What is he speaking? I'd be finding that out. And as soon as I find that out, that it becomes my application, and then I work through my who, what, why, where, how questions. How do I need to apply this? What would it look like step by step? Where do I need to apply that? What time would I need to apply that most? Is it when I'm angry? Is it when I'm sad? Is it when I'm lonely? Is it when I'm depressed? Is it when I'm in this circumstance, or when I'm in this circumstance? Mountains high, valleys low. Whatever it is, I'd be working through those questions, and I'd formulate one principal point. Right? So all of that study throughout the week, it would get me to one principal point. And then that's the point that I'm going to take home. And to be honest, I don't actually need to move on. Like, I don't want to rush through. See, the thing is, I don't want to jump from chapter 1 to chapter 2. The thing is, and this is something that I like to do, is I just like to sit on that for a while. Like I just think that over. I just sit on that for a bit, and I just ponder. I just meditate on it. What it looked like here. I just do some introspection, some self-examination. I ask God to, for wisdom around that, for opportunity to share that, or, and then I start sharing it to people, and I really just go through a process of about 3 weeks to a month to sharing everybody who would listen, whether they're Christians or non-Christians. I just share them about what I'm learning, and that's cool. And usually what happens is the principle can be boiled down into a working principle, even for unbelievers, and it's a great way for me to witness without doing it like I'm going through a sales script, you know what I mean? So that's what I do. Now there's two things that I don't stop doing. All right, there's two things that I don't stop doing through that whole process. Number one is from the day that I pick up the book, I don't stop praying. Okay? So I'm asking God to really reveal his heart, really reveal what it is that he wants me to see. The second thing is I don't stop meditating. And really for me, that's where I get everything. So like, I am a dude who, while I'm driving, you can tell because I do all my podcasts, at least at this stage, I do all of my podcasts while I'm driving, because that's when I get all my ideas. Sociologists and some psych people, I don't know, psychologists or whatever, neuroscience guys, they actually say that when your action-oriented or task-oriented brain is kind of preoccupied doing something that you've done 10,000 times over, then your creative brain actually can work in tandem with your task-oriented brain. And so that's where they call it the genius lounge. And I really think that God speaks to me in the genius lounge when I'm kind of preoccupied, not thinking about life so much. I'm just kind of working through some stuff, and I'm meditating on his word. I'm just thinking about life, lots of introspection, lots of thinking, lots of meditating, lots of prayer. And then all of a sudden, boom, that principle, it doesn't just become a cool thing that I got out of a Bible study, because that's not the reason why I'm teaching you guys Bible study. I'm teaching you guys Bible study so you can transform, not be informed, all right? So the thing is, and really, like, nobody likes a know-it-all. I've been there. People didn't like me. I've seen it all the time. I see this arrogance when people actually finally start to understand the Bible and theology, and guys, we just don't need to be there. I'm not telling you to be informed. I'm telling you to be transformed, right? So, and transformation really comes through two things: experience, application from experience, and that's through failure and success, right? Introspection and meditation, and lots of prayer. And so, anyway, that's kind of how you would manage your time. Break it up over the week. Tell yourself you don't have to get it all done. Look, the thing is, guys, is if the Bible, gives us any indication of how long the human life is, obviously, like James says, life is but a vapor. But in Psalms, kind of says, look, you're looking around 80 years. All right. So, and I'm just going to work off that. Okay, I'm going to be an optimist right now. And but the thing is that if you've got 80 years of working through the Bible, right? There's 52. There's 52. Let's say let's do a chapter or a chapter breakup a week, right? Knowing that that Scripture interprets Scripture. I tell you what, if you take one chapter or one chapter breakup a week, you will learn a heck of a lot about the Bible by the time you're 80. All right, so we don't have to rush our way through, and it's better to be experienced and applied than it is to just know a whole bunch of stuff, because empty knowledge can be seen a mile away. And to be honest, I see it all the time, and I don't care how much you know. I care how much you apply, and ideas mean nothing until they're actually applied. And so don't bring me your ideas. Don't tell me to do stuff that you're not doing, all that kind of stuff. The power is in application. The power is in experience. That's where learning happens. All right, and I always tell our guys, look, if you're learning about suffering in the Bible, or if you're learning about patience, guess what's coming your way, right? Guess what's coming your way. So God teaches you through life. All right, He doesn't just teach you through His Word. Yes, that's good for the information, but He teaches you through life. And I'm reminded of Philippians chapter 3, where Paul says that he rejoices in the fellowship of Christ's sufferings, because it's in that place, in Christ's sufferings, that he learned to be content, whether he had much or had little, and Christ was his strength. So guys, that's my 2 cents today for how to manage your time wisely when it comes to Bible study. Don't rush. All right, slow it down. It's okay. Take it easy. Find a group that you can share with. Share to anybody that you can. There it is. All right. I hope that was helpful for you anyway, because I know that this was a big problem for me when I was getting into the text for the first time, and I started learning all of the theological kind of stuff that I could apply. I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know the process. Well, I knew the process, but I just didn't know how to do it. What came first, second, where they all happened. Anyway, I can keep talking, but I'm not. I'm going to stop now, and I hope that this has been a blessing to you. We'll catch up soon with some more value coming your way. Okay, bye-bye.